morning, guys. It's been a gorgeous rainy morning in Amsterdam. We are off to the gym though, so I thought I'd start a vlog here. I feel like I've not been vlogging that regularly over the last week. To be fair, it's probably only been like 10 days. But when I get back to consistency, sorry, just checking there's not a bike coming at us. Honestly, you have to really watch out for bikes here, because the rule of thumb seems to be that bikes have right away over both cars and people, basically. They don't have to, like, it is hectic. They don't have to stop at zebra crossings. Did that confuse you?
Yes, it did confuse me actually. Was I with you when... Oh, I almost got run over by a bike. And
really?
It was at a zebra crossing, yeah.
Oh, bless him. But yeah, I'm gonna go and get some kind of upper body done today. I'm not sure if I want to do more of like a push session or a pull session or just a general upper body sesh. So I thought I'd take you along.
I thought I'd voice over this bit of the video so we can have a bit of a chit chat at the same time. The workout that I chose to do in this session was one of the upper body ones from my Build and Burn program. On my app, I will leave it linked below, but it's basically quite a high intensity upper body workout, which I love. Lots of supersets and just generally gets you pretty sweaty for an upper body session. I'm actually recording this voiceover quite a long time after I filmed this workout, and it's kind of crazy for me to see now, sort of about 5 weeks on, just how far I've come with fitness and I guess the difference in my mindset. I think seeing video footage from you at a certain point of time, you kind of get reminded about how you felt at that time, and I can now just really see the progression, so it's actually quite cool for me to look back at. But this was the start of me getting more consistent with my workouts again, just generally attending the gym and enjoying my sessions. And I think a big part of that is that I'm finally able to do some lower body sessions as well to kind of complete a little bit of a workout routine for me. I'm generally able to be a bit more active, and I am just enjoying workouts again, which I hadn't for ages. I can see the struggle on my face through a lot of these exercises. It was really tough for me. And one of the things that I was struggling with mentally during my workouts at this time was the fact that I just felt weak, to be honest. I think you have an idea in your head of the kind of weights you generally use during workouts and, you know, your capabilities, even with the push-ups and dips and things in this specific workout. And I was just generally feeling not very strong, which isn't the nicest feeling to have, especially when a big part of your job is being a trainer. But this was very much the start of some really big changes in my life. I know I spoke about this in my last video, but I have been on a bit of a cut. I have been very determined to just gain a bit of confidence back, to be honest. I've spoken a lot about mentally how going through this knee injury has made me feel. I think just having a new goal and actually feeling like I'm getting somewhere with it has been huge for my mind, and I've seen some really big progress in my body already. I'll definitely sit down and chat to you a bit more about it and how everything's going and what I've been doing, but I really feel like I've come a long way even since filming this video, which is really cool to see. This workout, by the way, is absolutely fabulous and really gets your heart racing. One of the things that I brought to the app recently is workout tracking, so you can now put your weights and reps and things in, which is such a good new feature, and that has literally come into play this week, so even more of a reason to go and check out some of my workout guides. I think there are 5 on my app now, which are amazing, and I've got a lot more to come. I got back after my workout and decided to make this salmon dish. It's basically this Tuscan salmon kind of thing that I've made a quite light, sort of healthy version of, with some low-fat creme fraiche, I think it was. In the Netherlands, they have this really nice brand of chopped tomatoes, which they do actually sell in Waitrose and a few places in the UK, but it's their kind of standard brand here, and I just feel like they're really good quality chopped tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, but I use cherry tomatoes in this recipe for some extra added sweetness. There's some stock in there as well, onions, garlic, very simple recipe, just need to let the sauce reduce, and then I added in lots of basil for flavour, some spinach for some extra greens, and then I actually had some pre-cooked salmon fillets, which is what I used here, but you could easily just cook salmon in the oven or actually probably cook it in the sauce as well if you wanted to. The creme fraiche didn't actually mix in as well as I wanted it to, but I think that's because it's a low-fat creme fraiche, so if you can use one with a slightly higher fat content. Put lots of pepper in, no more added salt because the stock had already made it quite salty. And then we had that with pasta, but it was a delicious, really nice, light and healthy lunch, packed full of lots of nutrients, which has been a big focus for me this year.
Right, so after a delicious lunch, I realised I didn't really speak to you at all throughout that, but I was filming that recipe, which was Tuscan salmon, or like my take on Tuscan salmon, for reels. But yeah, I realised that I didn't even speak to you throughout that, but I'm back from the gym, obviously. Had a really good session actually, just feeling good and energized at the moment, which is fab. I need to wash my hair today like really badly, and I didn't bring a hair mask with me to Amsterdam, and I'm kind of annoyed at myself for not doing it because I know I've got loads of them at home. But what I did bring with me is this Pureology Superfood Deep Treatment Mask. I only use this usually right after I have shampooed my hair, but I saw someone on social media using it just as a hair mask, which makes so much sense because it's called a hair mask. So now I'm thinking, have I been using it wrong? Anyway, I'm gonna use this at some point. I need to wet my hair a bit, but it only says to keep on for 5 minutes. I actually really want to show you some of my skincare empties because I have got a few, and I've actually really loved sharing these on here over the last however long. I think this is maybe like my third one of these. So first one, and I know it's one that I said I'd let you know how it was, is this Rose Fresh, the brand is Fresh, Rose Deep Hydration Face Cream. This one, I absolutely loved this, like really loved this. In fact, I'm using a different moisturizer now and it's just nowhere near as good. I just find this sinks into your skin really well, keeps you really hydrated, it's got such a lovely smell. I would definitely repurchase it. Really great if you need like like it says, deep hydration cream. I feel like I wake up in the morning with lovely hydrated skin. Next one, this is something I actually bought here. I can't remember if I've spoken you through this already, but I basically came here without a face wash. So went to the, I'm trying to think what it would be the equivalent of, because it's not really like Boots because it's just full of like really nice skincare and hair care and stuff. But anyway, it's called Douglas here. Maybe it's more similar to Sephora, which we haven't had in the UK, but apparently it has come to the UK now this year, I think. But I picked this up and it's the Ordinary Squalane Cleanser. Really have loved this. So my skin type, just for reference, is dry basically, and I really struggle with some cleansers. I feel like they make my skin feel quite tight afterwards. We've been making such an effort to try and just make coffees rather than only drinking takeaway coffees recently, because just everything adds up. And let me tell you, I feel like, well, I'm saying this as if none of you have ever experienced this before, but I feel like in a city, the thing to do is basically go to different places, explore, get something to eat or drink. It's basically like the only thing to do unless you're at like an art gallery or something. And I've just been spending a lot of money, and my goal is to spend less money. So we've been perfecting our lovely home coffees. This next product, you might be surprised to see in here because I think I ruled it out basically in my last skincare empties video as a product that I was like, doesn't really work for me. And the main reason was it doesn't really work for me with my other skincare products because it's a serum. The thing that I do find a little tricky about serum is that usually with skincare, the recommendation is to go from lighter weight products to heavier weight products. So usually my SPF is the heaviest product I'd put on my skin in the morning. But as I'll speak to you about in a second, I have really stripped down my skincare routine, like crazy amounts, and it's really been working for me, which means this is the only thing I've been using in the morning. Well, it was until it ran out. And if you just put this on your face after you've washed it, it's perfect. It's really hydrating. I do get worried about putting the right amount on because obviously it's runnier, so it spreads further, but then I'm like, does that mean you're less protected? But having said that, I have really enjoyed this product as just a product to use by itself on your face, not with any other skincare products. The only thing I say is that I do find it's quite like a shiny, it's kind of like a glowy product, but a bit too glowy. So it works best if you wait like 10 minutes before you put anything else on. Whereas that other sun cream, which I was actually going to show you because I've got an empty of it and I don't know what I've done with it. I think I might have thrown it out already. So this is Elliot's one that he's currently going through. not quite finished yet. But this one, I find it's like a really, really good primer before makeup as well. This is just, like my holy grail. Next one to quickly go through is another Refi eyebrow thing. I just love these. I really, really love them. I haven't found a product that I feel like compares to it. I feel like this happens sometimes. You think it's empty and then you take it out and you're suddenly like, wait, that's not actually empty. So maybe I'll go back and use the last bits of that. But yes, love this to enhance the fluffy eyebrows. Right, last product. This is product I basically ended up buying into because I've had quite a few people that I follow work with this brand. Eventually I was like, do you know what, I'm just gonna try this product as well. As you know, since coming off the pill, when was it, like a year and a half ago now, I can never remember it, like when it was, when I'm actually talking about it on here. I have suffered with some bouts of, I guess, acne, like spots, especially kept getting it on the right side of my face and then it switched to the left side of my face. So I thought I would try out Skin and Me for the first time. So this is basically like prescription skincare, which means that some of the percentages of things that they put in these products for you based on your personal skin type or concerns, things you want to improve, are prescription only percentages, are prescription only. Now, I love how it works in general. It's like a little metal tube. I think I've missed a day off this. Okay, well, at least I can show you. But basically, it's like a little twizzly tube. Oh, I have. I don't know how I've done that. Oh, really squeezing the last bit out. Basically clicks when you're at the end of it. It looks a lot bigger usually because every single day it kind of goes down. And then you take it off the end and it's the perfect amount for putting on your face. And they change your percentages each time. I have noticed the biggest difference in my skin, just so unexpectedly better since I started using that. I feel like it's also taken the faff out of my skincare routine. Sometimes I find it really annoying going upstairs at home and applying like a couple of products. You want to wait a few minutes in between each one, and sometimes I find it like really relaxing doing a really lengthy skincare routine, but sometimes I'd be like, this is just annoying. And then the only thing I put on with this is a really thick moisturizer afterwards, and my skin with one thing and moisturizer and SPF in the morning is just the best it's been. So as much as I'm not actually working with Skin and Me, as much as I would absolutely love to, I do have a referral code which basically came when I bought the product. So I'll leave it below if you do also want to try it. You basically get a month free. It actually says on this tube, which is where I'm reading it. So the code basically gives you a month free, so you can test it out and see if you like it as well. The other thing that I didn't mention is that they post these to you once a month. I just think it's a really innovative product and I couldn't recommend it enough because I've seen huge differences since I started using it. I just remembered one more that I finished today, that this is the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day Advanced Clean Dry Shampoo. Basically the newer version of the Perfect Hair Day other one. If you watch like my first video on this channel or like second video on this channel, I was using this in it and it's just my absolute favorite dry shampoo. So yeah, another really great one, and just realized that I've run out of dry shampoo now. So I've just thought I was gonna put that hair mask in and then go and do some work for a bit, but I've just realized that I can only wait like 10 minutes before I rinse it out. So I think plan B is that I'm gonna go and do work for a couple of hours, and yes, I don't always shower straight after the gym, and then I'm gonna put my hair mask in and get in the shower, do some moisturizer. Also, while we're talking about skincare, this is still just my favorite moisturizer at the moment. I've been using it for years, but the Body Shop body yogurts, oh, I love them so much. I mean, this is more of like my summery one, but it was the only one I had left to bring with me. It's the passion fruit one, and it's got like a tingly, gives you a tingly feeling when you use it. It's instant cooling. Basically, it's really great when you've been in the sun, but I'm just using it in general. But what I love about it is it actually really hydrates your skin and it sinks in like 5 minutes. So the one thing I find about really thick body moisturizers is I really hate that you have to wait for a while before you get dressed, because I just want to shower and get dressed. I'm not about the faff or like hanging around in your underwear while you're waiting. I will link everything in the description box. I haven't been very good at doing that for like the last, well, ton of videos, but I will make sure I do that for you. So if you want to go and find any of the products yourself, you can.
Good morning, guys. Well, it's been a little while, actually, even since I filmed the start of this video. Multiple reasons. I feel like I was struggling for a little bit. I just realised it's just started raining as I walked out the house. Struggling a little bit to know like what to actually put into these videos. I kind of feel like it's all very well when you're traveling to somewhere and like showing someone like your surroundings and like what you're doing all weekend. But when, I guess I felt like when we were actually settled here, it's so difficult to know what to show you because obviously we're in an apartment, which is lovely, but I don't have a lot of my own stuff in the apartment, just sort of what we've brought with us. And then out and about, we've been doing, I guess, like slightly less touristy things. Like we'll maybe go to a cafe or something, but we're not mixing it up all the time. And I don't know, I just felt like a bit uninspired. I'm definitely gonna start kind of bringing in bits like I've spoken about of fitness stuff and what I'm up to from that point of view. But we are actually coming home in 2 days, which is crazy. We're basically at the end. I'm just having to walk up and down this alleyway, by the way, because it's way too busy at the end of this road. But we're basically at the end of our like stint of time we could do here. So you can only do 3 months with a British passport in like most EU countries, like minus a few. And we are almost at the end of it, minus like a week or two. But we actually can't max out but we can't actually do the full 3 months because I'm gonna have to catch up with you and the rest of this in a second. I was very rudely interrupted by the weather there, but wanted to just kind of continue that chat. I've actually just spent the last 2 hours, 3 hours, what's the time? Oh my God, it's 2:15. Okay, 4 hours working from a cafe, my favorite cafe to work from here. That's got really good Wi-Fi, coffee and cake, and also do really good coffee. So if you are in Amsterdam and looking for a work from cafe recommendation, I would definitely give that a try. But yeah, what I was saying was, I feel like I haven't really known what to post on YouTube, if I'm honest. And I think it's like a result of not being in my home. So I feel like at home, there's a lot of like little renovations, DIY projects. I can't even think of anything else now I'm saying this. Just like a lot of little things that I can do. Maybe it's like meeting up with friends. I think I've just struggled a little bit in the last bit of our time in Amsterdam with just knowing what to like pick up the camera and film. I think I just like the idea of like filming YouTube videos and them just feeling really, really natural. Also, our friends that we hang out with here, they don't even use social media at all. So a lot of the things that we've been doing that would have been like fun to film, I probably wouldn't just get out a camera and like whack it in their faces. But I actually have a kind of big update, and I wanted to do a little Q&A because I feel like you guys have got quite a few questions that have been asked over on Instagram. This morning I actually put a question box up, so I thought I'd answer a few of those. But the big sort of news, which shouldn't necessarily be a surprise because I had to sort of mention this at the start, is we are actually going home in 2 days, which is crazy, like very sad. I've got like mixed feelings about it. I could stay here for a year or 2 years, absolutely no doubt, and we definitely are going to try and make the move here for a little bit of time. One of the many things that hasn't been amazing about Brexit is that it restricts like your free movement around other countries in the EU. One of those is the Netherlands, so we can only do 3 months here without being on a work visa. Elliot and I are both self-employed, so that wouldn't work. Without getting a passport, Elliot is actually a quarter Dutch, but apparently there are issues with even when you manage to get a Dutch passport, which might be in like a year or so. I would then also have to get a partner's visa, which is an even longer process. Even then, apparently they make you give up any other passports you've got, and obviously we wouldn't want to lose our British passports. So that could come with a whole host of issues. The only way that we would really be able to move here is basically moving one of our businesses to the Netherlands. Apparently it's not that difficult to do, but we need to return to the UK to like have a bit of time to maybe meet up with a lawyer or whatever. So if we're being realistic, this is probably looking at like next year, probably not this year, just because it's going to take a while to sort everything out. Sorry, this light I think is just gonna chop and change throughout this whole section of the video. But yeah, mixed views on it. Very excited to get back to our home, and I've got things I want to do in the house. I'm really excited for like little homey videos, like new bits of renovation stuff, everything like that. But I will miss being here so much. Like I'm not ready to leave, but now we know we're leaving. I've definitely got a few little bits of excitement about it. Okay, so questions. First one, how long do you want to live in Amsterdam for? Well, ideally a year or two, but at the moment we're actually going home. So I think this is asked by someone who doesn't know that we're not sort of staying forever. Is there any other European city you could see yourself living in other than Amsterdam? Yes, definitely. In fact, there are probably quite a few European cities that I'd like to do a little stint in an ideal world. We do need to take into consideration the fact that neither of us speak another language like properly. Amsterdam is a great place if you don't speak the language, because basically everybody speaks English here, which is amazing. I mean, I would love to be able to speak another language, but I don't currently. We have floated the idea of like Barcelona, Lisbon, but I think they would more be for like our 3-month bit that we can do in those countries. To be honest, there are loads of cities. I haven't been to a ton of cities in Europe that I'm like, wow, I can see myself being here for a year. A lot of them I feel like are nice for a city break or a holiday. Like Zurich, another one, I probably could see myself being there for a year, and Copenhagen. By the way, I've had a cold all weekend, like a pretty bad cold, so you can probably still hear it in my voice. How are things going with your knee and recovery? Thank you for asking. Actually, very well. And I think because I haven't been on YouTube for a little while, I've not given you like a proper update on everything. But I really, really think that I have hit a big point of like progression, if that even makes sense. I'm gonna put a few clips up probably here. I have been doing some hip thrusts, my first hip thrust in years, at the gym with a proper barbell. I have been practicing squatting. For context, I have been going to my physio 3 times a week for the last few weeks. We have been putting in some like serious work. I just seem to have like been doing this basically. Now I still get a bit of like tightness, a little bit of soreness after some workouts or some like sessions we do. Generally subsides within like a day or a day and a half, and my physio Mark has basically said that is absolutely fine, just kind of your body getting reused to doing things again. We've been working on strength, just a lot. Like I said, I've been going in 3 times a week for an hour, so it's been kind of crazy. I'm actually gonna probably carry on doing remote sessions with him when I move out to the UK, because we're at the point where we're not doing any like physical treatment now. I did spend the first quite a few weeks of going to that physio just trying to sort out my body and like the tightness and inflammation, and I just had so many issues that came to light that are a result of poor recovery from after my operation, the ridiculously long wait I had to even get my operation where my body wasn't working properly, had big problems with like my right quad, my hip, my glute, like not being able to tense my glute, which is a very weird feeling. We've been doing intense massage that's had me like nearly in tears with pain, dry needling, just a lot of stuff. And then we're now at the point where we're in the gym. Remote sessions hopefully should just keep me going in this direction, but very exciting, that's all I'm gonna say now. And I know I've had a lot of times where I feel like I've made a bit of a breakthrough. I've probably made videos where I've spoken about my knee in like oh my god, I'm getting somewhere, about 10 times, and I've never got anywhere. But it does feel a bit different this time. Struggling with gut issues, what can I do to help on these days? So since I haven't posted on YouTube, I have actually launched a whole gut health section onto my Accomplish app, which is amazing in my opinion. I've basically written down answers to every question that I get asked. Obviously this is all from my personal experience. I'm not a qualified dietitian or nutritionist, anything science-based. Apart from personal trainer, I'm a qualified personal trainer. I basically collated all my suggestions, information on gut health, a load of workouts that I would do on days where I'm feeling bloated or just really crappy, and put them together on my app. There is a 7-day trial period on my app, so if you want to go and check it out for free, see if it's something you want to get on board with, I will put the link down below. But it's basically annieobfitness.app. Just type it into your webpage and you can start the 7 days for free. I mean, there's a lot I could say about this. On days when you are actually bloated, one of the things I would say is light exercise is absolutely amazing, and that's why I've put together some workouts on my app. very specific, more like yoga flow style workouts are what really helps me. I wouldn't go to the gym and like do my normal workouts. Very different type of workouts. Nice walks outside, really, really simple food. I always go for like my like go-to meal on a bloated day would be something like white rice, salmon, some simple veggies like green beans or something. That is just like a easy staple meal for me. Might not be for you, everyone is different. Some people might react to rice or whatever, but I think just finding things that like calm your stomach. Also, one of the things I've been loving in Amsterdam, which I'm gonna really miss, is you can go to a cafe and get a fresh mint tea, and it's literally just a big sprig of mint basically in hot water, and it's just so nice and refreshing. It's actually made me think, when we get back, I think I'm gonna buy a mint plant so I can do exactly the same at home. But it's, instead of getting like a mint tea bag like we do in the UK, like you'd never get fresh mint tea. They also do it with ginger as well, and then they give you like a little sachet of honey, which I'm just been loving. Mint tea I find like really settles my gut, so sip on a bit of mint tea, put on some baggy clothes so you don't feel rubbish about yourself, because that's one of the main things I feel like really gets people down. Yeah, I feel like those are a few little good tips that I would do on a day where I'm like already bloated. What's your go-to skincare? You are glowing. That is so kind of you. I have really stripped back, I feel like, a lot of like routines I had, and one of them was I used to spend quite an excessive amount of time doing my skincare routine. I felt like I had products that were working for me, and I've been quite open on here about azelaic acid and how I've loved using that one from The Ordinary. Definitely made a big difference to my skin, 100%. But I didn't feel like I'd quite solved my issues, and I didn't really feel like, even though I was doing much better having the azelaic acid, anything was making a big difference. I was using also exfoliants like BHAs, AHAs, and I was using retinol at nighttime, and nothing was like properly clearing my skin in the way I wanted to. And then this year I completely stripped it back, and I've just remembered when I filmed the start of this video, which was like 2 weeks ago, I think I actually spoke about Skin and Me, but basically I've been using Skin and Me in the evening. In the morning I have literally been using an SPF, and if my skin's been a little more dry, I've been using a really lightweight moisturizer before my SPF. I know that my Skin and Me has got like azelaic acid, niacinamide, and something else beginning with a C in quite a high dose, so that is basically what I've been using on my skin. If I didn't mention it earlier on, I will put my Skin and Me link down below. I don't work with them, but I would absolutely love to work with them, so if you want to support me and manifest with me that I can maybe work with them one day, then go and use my link. But yeah, it's basically just like personalized skincare. If you want me to do a makeup routine, because I feel like I've changed a few things in my makeup routine, then also let me know, because I feel like that I have got makeup on today, and that's probably a big part of maybe feeling like my skin's glowy. How long have you and Elliot been together? Do you want to get married? We have been together for a long time, like I think it's near enough 8 years. We were speaking about it at the weekend. We basically got together like the end of my second, well, both of our second year at uni. We met at uni. And no, I don't think we want to get married. It's never been something that's been really important to me and him either, actually. I think if one of us was like really keen to, then maybe it would change. I'm not against it, and I might change my mind at some point, but I was never one of those girls that dreamt of like an amazing wedding when they grew up. My parents divorced when I was really young, and my dad is also divorced from my stepmom, and I think going through things like that, I think probably just changes your view on it. And I love it for my friends. It's not in any way that I like don't agree with it or anything. I just don't personally love the idea of being like legally bound to someone. I think that's the bit that stresses me out. I've actually got a friend from school's wedding this weekend, which I'm absolutely buzzing for, and I've definitely got like a couple more friends that are starting to get engaged. Another one of my friends got engaged the other day, and it's just such an exciting time, and like I said, absolutely love it for other people.
So I'm very sorry for the super abrupt ending that Q&A had. I have no idea what has happened to the rest of that footage. I don't know, my camera, something died on it, something with my memory card, no idea, but it's just hasn't been there when I've been editing this today. But I just wanted to apologise again for the inconsistency in videos. I feel like literally for the last year I've generally been so good with it. I wanted to come on here and sign this off and say bye, and thanks so much for watching and bearing with me. I am back, very, very excited to be filming again, and please subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I'll see you in my next video.